Ladies and gentlemen, today I have the pleasure to welcome Miss Tina Hilton. She is a financial coach. As a result, we're going to talk about money and how to help people in their financial freedom. Miss Tina, thank you very much for joining me under the Human Rights Tree.
Yes, absolutely, Alpha. It's so great to see you today. Thank you for inviting me. I'm
So,
so
how's life
grateful.
in California?
Life is pretty good. We're in a little heat streak here over here. It's like only March and we're going to be 86 degrees today, so it's a little bit hot. But we're doing good.
Okay.
Yeah.
As I indicated, we're going to talk about money
Mm-hmm.
and figure out ways to help people in their financial freedom.
Right.
But when you come to money, what is your relationship has been with money?
Oh, wow. It's been a journey.
Okay.
So to keep it real, you know, most of my life, I have been just following my heart and on a journey of spiritual truth seeking and not so much concerned about, the more basic, ways of the world where people are chasing after money. I've never been in that. So it's been a journey, but guess what? After having three children and, you know, um, not really setting myself up financially. I've struggled a lot too. There's been highs and lows.
Mm.
Yeah. So I've been involved in different industries over the years. I've been an entrepreneur, and I've seen a lot of different waves, of financial success and also financial hardship. So coming in now a few years ago as a licensed financial professional, I help people organize and get together financial wellness plans. It has been life changing. I feel like I did arrive a little late to the party because, I'll be 50 in the fall. And
Mm.
I don't really, up until a few years ago, I hadn't been thinking about my retirement plan or what I was going to do. And so it's definitely been a journey. And now I'm catching up and I'm so grateful because now I understand, the system, the financial world as it is, um, has been set up in a certain way. And if we don't understand the rules of the game, we're not going to win. And that's how I see it. And so I like to help people. My passion right now, Alpha, is to make sure that people understand the rules of the game of money so you can go make empowered choices and figure out how to play. Because it's like if we play a game and you don't understand the rules, how are you going to win, right? So,
Mm. As you
hmm
as you said, that it has been a long journey. Can
yeah.
you take us back in that journey? Can you tell us a little bit about your background? Because to better understand somebody's
hmm
relationship with money, I
Yeah.
think is essential to know um, where they come from, their family,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
how, tell us a little bit
Yeah.
about your
Okay.
background. Mm.
Sure. Well, I grew up in Chicago, in the suburbs of Chicago. Um, my family is Greek American, so all my
Okay.
grandparents had come over from Greece in the early 1900s.
Mm.
Immigrants and landed in Chicago, and the two sides of my family had a little bit of different experiences. My mother's side of the family was working in the factories. Her parents were factory workers, and she grew up on the south side, in the Robert Taylor homes, that area. And in the 40s, she was born. And then my father grew up on the north side more, and his family owned a store, and his mother was an educator, and she was an artist also. And so a little different, a little more
Mm.
luxury on that side. So, anyways, and then I grew up in a kind of a middle class suburban home, and I was born in the 70s.
Excuse me.
Um,
What the name of
mhm.
your suburb? What was it?
Um, I grew up in Glenview,
Oh, Glenview.
closer
Okay.
to Niles and Morton Grove, kind of that side of Glenview.
Okay, the suburb of
Yeah.
Chicago. Mm.
hmm
Growing
Yeah.
up, did you had any talk as a child at home? Did your parents, call you and Tina, and share the importance of money, or it was not the case? What was it? How was it?
You know what? It's
Mm,
so interesting because I'm the youngest out of three children,
okay.
and I don't feel like I ever got the information.
Mm,
I, like I said, I have always been kind of an artist, and I even they would try to encourage me, "Oh, Tina, you should go to school, become a graphic designer when you go to college, do this, do that." And I really just didn't want to monetize my art. It's
mm,
interesting, but because I felt like it was just my spirit, and I just love to create, and I didn't want it to be this corporate thing, and it's very interesting. So I think they tried to encourage it, but
mm.
I was and
So,
even as a young person, yeah, I don't think it was something I was very aware of, except that sometimes I couldn't get what I wanted. I remember that part.
mm,
It wasn't like, we just had an abundance of money where,
so there
so.
was no
Hmm.
emphasis on you knowing about money, basically, because I think you were seen as the artistic child of the family. Is it the
Yeah,
case?
like I mean, my sister's 7 years older. She's,
Okay.
very
Mm,
responsible. My brother's 5 years older, and then comes me.
mm,
And I don't know, I just I would definitely just have a different
mm.
presence, as I move through the world. So I
Okay.
think they tried. I've been since I was a teenager, I kind of counterculture. I was interested in doing things differently. And,
Doing,
so
okay.
mhm.
So at school, where did you go to elementary school? Mm,
I went to elementary there at Washington School. It's right on it's near Gulf and Milwaukee Avenue
okay.
in
In
right on the
elementary
border of
school, did they teach you
Mhm.
about money?
No.
Okay.
No, and that's the problem, right?
Mm, yeah.
Because so much of what I learned as an older adult is very easy concepts. And if our children were empowered, if we all were empowered, we would know better, how to take care of ourselves.
Mm. Did you
Hmm.
have the chance to go to high school as well?
Yep, I went to high school at Maine East High School in Park Ridge.
And
Yeah.
were you inclined on pursuing
Hmm.
artistic career, or you didn't know at that time?
I didn't know. And so I went to college and I just studied literature and I would take some art classes. I was
Mm,
very much into the humanities and human experience. So I learned my college degree was in comparative literature, and my focus is really women's studies, but from all over the world. It was a global women's studies education, and I was very it shaped my worldview because I learned straight from women's voices, poetry, literature, real accounts of their lives, and learned about how people are living and what they're experiencing all over.
okay.
So that
After,
really shaped my
where did
mind.
you go to college? And after college, did you
Hmm.
pursue your degree? What do you study for?
Hmm. So I spent my first 2 years at the University of Iowa in Iowa
Oh, okay.
City,
Mm,
and then I transferred to University of Oregon in Eugene, Oregon, and I graduated from there. So yeah, so in 1994 I graduated University of Oregon, and then I did not go back to school until it was like 30 years later or something. I would know I was 41 and I went back for my master's in education.
so after
Yeah.
school, what did you do?
Mhm.
Mm,
After my undergrad,
mm,
this is where it gets exciting.
mm. Take
I
us
had
through
a
it.
few, I had a few, I had a few jobs. I was just I stayed in Oregon for a little bit and then moved back to Chicago.
Mm,
Um, I had a few jobs that were totally unrelated, but just trying to get myself out of debt. Worked as an administrative assistant for a very nice family-owned business. And then during my time there, I was so kind of caught up in this. It's interesting because we're talking about money, but I was caught up in this. I was like, oh, I'm going to buy this fancy car. And I was like spending a lot of money going out to clubs and getting dressed up. And it was totally different because I had been on this other very natural path. And,
Mm.
so I said, Tina, you gotta just should step out for a little bit and go find your spirit again. What's going on, And so I found contact to a beautiful retreat place. A woman had owned a sweet property in Negril, Jamaica, and I took off and I quit my job and I was like, I'm just going to Jamaica. And I didn't know anything about Jamaica. I didn't know anything about the culture. Honestly, I didn't, even though I grew up around many cultures growing up, but I just didn't. I wasn't like, oh, I want to go because of the reggae music or because of Rasta or anything. I just went to go take a break.
When was
And
it?
I ended
When
up
was it? Mm. Can you take me?
2001.
Okay.
2001.
Mm.
Yeah. And it was the last day of February. I remember that because I was like, I, that's my deadline. I have to get out of here before March. I'm going. And I went and I met actually my children's father there. A whole new journey arrived and it was beautiful. I didn't go looking for anything, but I lived in basically in the bush, as they call it, right? Out in the woods, eating from the mango trees that his great grandparents had ate from, and you know what I mean? Just carried water from the spring,
Mm.
cooked on fire, had a very natural experience out there, and it was very special. So grateful for that. Hmm.
I believe based on your experience, it was a taking point
Hmm.
because you were emphasizing that
Hmm.
you were into in the material world where you wanted to
Yes.
have a new things, new car and stuff, and
Hmm.
suddenly
Hmm.
you decided that you will escape and go to Jamaica.
Yeah.
Can you
Yeah.
take us deep in that journey, traveling to as an American,
Mm.
you know,
Hmm.
growing up
Yeah.
in the suburb and
Yeah.
going to
Totally.
Jamaica? Did you stay in Kingston, um, or what happened? Take us
Yeah.
on that journey.
So, yeah. Well, before I left, I remember people being like, my mother's friend in particular being like, oh, there's women disappear when they go to places like this, and you're going by yourself, and there was all this worry, and I was like, I'm gonna be fine. I trust, like, you know, people are good people. I'm good, I'm gonna go on my journey. I know I'm safe,
Mm,
and I have a strong faith. Okay, Alpha. So I always know, like, and I'm grateful for that because I feel safe when I go. And I think, anyway, so there was all kinds of that like overshadowing, and I'm like, okay, I gotta go. And so I went. I flew to Montego Bay, which is on the west side of the island,
mm,
far from Kingston. And then yeah, there was like this woman who had she did aromatherapy and different healing there. And so that's why I wanted to stay with her because I thought, oh, this is a nice, safe place, a woman-owned place, and I can just take myself for a little retreat, and do some healing and things. And so she had it set up where I got to there was a bus that could bring me down to Negril where her property was. And so yeah, so we traveled down the whole west side of the island. It's so beautiful. But honestly, I had never been to any place like that before. I hadn't been to any quote third world country or, differently underdeveloped countries, however people like to say it. And I was like, so it was just eye-opening. Look at how people are living in the world. Like, coming from the suburbs of Chicago, it was very important to me. And I really value the experience and the education that I got there,
mm.
very much.
How
Yeah.
many months you stayed there?
Hmm.
And
So
what was your plan? Because often when we
you're asking all the right questions. You're asking all the right because it's funny because I bought a ticket
Mhm.
for 2 weeks and I ended up staying. I just never came back. I stayed like at least 6 months the first time.
Oh, okay.
Um, Maybe longer. I can't remember. And I just was like, I just told my folks, I'm not coming back. I'm gonna stay, and they were like, oh
In
my gosh,
Jamaica?
just live. Yeah, she's living out in the bush. Out, there's no, reception. It wasn't so common in 2001 for everybody to have cell phones. You had to go to the calling stations, to the places where you could make a call internationally and stuff like that, like once a week or whatever. And so that was funny. But yeah, so I just I ditched out on everything and then I came back because I needed to make a little more money. I didn't really have a lot. I was kind of living on credit cards and just a little bit of savings. And so I came back to work a little bit and luckily my same job accepted me back because I had totally just left and then they were like, "Yeah, sure, come back." So they let me work a little bit and then I went back and I did that for a couple years. We had gotten married now, my kid's father, the following year after we had met. And I lived down there, yeah, with him like that. And we were working on immigration stuff and trying to get him up to the States. And
I
it
see.
was beautiful. I got to travel all over the island, got to go through the different immigration process there in Kingston at the embassy or the consulate and all the things.
How old were you
Yeah, but
at that time, going
I
through all
was
those
like,
uh,
right. I was
interesting
24 when I
journey?
first got, I was 24 years old when I first got to Jamaica. Yeah.
So, what did you learn as an American, leaving your job and going to Jamaica, um,
Hmm.
basically wanting to, seeking for something, finding love,
Yeah.
and facing the
Yeah.
reality?
Yeah.
Can you tell us
Yeah.
what did you deeply learn, and
Yeah.
were you transformed?
I was transformed. Thank you for asking. Yeah, it was deep. It was a deep journey because, you know, my children's father was a Nyabingi drum maker of the Rastafarian faith. And so I got immersed in that culture. I got to go to different gatherings um, and learn, all about the Black liberation movement, really, and so that deeply touched me because this was new information to me. And so, even though I had gotten a pretty good world view from my undergraduate studies, there's nothing like living amongst people who, you know what I mean, and hearing real stories. And um, yeah, so I learned a lot from the Rasta communities there. We would travel around and meet different people and also just people in the local community. I had friends there who shared with me a lot, about their life and stories there. So yeah, I learned, I mean, imagine, right? Coming from the convenience kind of American suburban experience and then living in a small village where we actually hiked up and over on slippery, wet soil through like a rainforest, basically to the spring to carry back 5-gallon jugs of water, on our heads or to do the laundry, and just all the things like that. So I learned some very important skills, also as far as living in these ways, these practical ways
Okay.
of how to live and like I said, cook on fire, to live with candlelight. Because I mean, not everybody lives like that there, but he's a Rasta man. Okay, so we lived in the bush. we we would play dominoes at night in the candlelight and listen
Hmm.
to the beautiful nature all around and play drums. We had drums, so I learned how to drum there.
I see.
Yeah, it was very special. And that's kind of when I met you after that, like a couple years after that, Alpha, is when we met.
At the Rastafarian gathering.
Right, right. Yeah, it's very special.
For the people who don't know
Mm,
about the Rastafarian
mm, mm.
movement, can you take
Yeah.
us a little bit of what it takes to be a Rastafarian? Is it a lifestyle or a religion, or it is
Mm.
just a movement?
Well, okay, so I am speaking as somebody who's outside of the movement. I was immersed in it through my relationship with, my kid's father, but I'll share with you my experience,
Yeah.
but I'm not like an authority or anything on this. I just want to be clear about that. But really, my introduction to Rasta was that it's a movement, it's a lifestyle. There are religious and spiritual aspects, absolutely, but it's also, there's no one way. There are different, you know, um, how do you say, like different traditions, different sects of people who are doing different things. So you have like maybe the Bobo Shanti who have a very, different way of approaching it than the Naya Bingi maybe. But there's also a lot of commonality too, you know. So I think some of the main teachings are, you know, the Black liberation movement, okay, and also looking at Africa as the homeland and, you know, King Selassie, where they got the name Rastafari, right? Because he was named, you know, Rastafari, um, from, you know, Ethiopia, being a leader, and some saying the second coming of Christ. And so not all Rastas will agree on these different things. Okay. So some people see him as the Godhead, and some people think, no, he's a wonderful leader, you know, and don't see him in that, you know, same way. So, um, yeah, and I think just the natural lifestyle that Rastas follow is very important, right? So, but there's again, there's different, it's a spectrum. It is not all just one very rigid. It's an experience and a lifestyle and a movement. And so some people will not eat, you know, they're strictly vegetarian. Some people will not eat salt. Some people will eat chicken and they're still Rasta, right? So I mean, it's not, and I think that's one of the most beautiful things about it is that there is no rigid way. But of course, if you want to follow a path that has more structure, there is that within Rastafarian movement.
But
So, like I said, I'm not an authority. This is my experience.
yeah, yeah, I know you are not
Hmm.
authority, but
Hmm.
what I'm trying to get into
I
is
just gotta be
uh,
mindful.
the
Yeah,
the journey, because at certain
yeah,
point,
yeah,
um,
yeah,
a young um, American from Greek
yeah,
origin living in the suburb
yeah,
decided
yeah,
to move on from and seeking for something, and you end up being a Rastafarian. Now,
yeah.
for us who are not very inclined,
Yeah.
of course, I did read about the movement and things,
Hmm.
but
Yeah.
I just want you to, because I feel like it will be very important to
Mm.
understand your journey
Yeah.
on how
Yeah.
you end up being a financial coach.
Yeah.
You went
Totally.
to Jamaica, you
Hmm.
decided that you're going to join the Rastafarian movement.
Hmm.
What are
Hmm.
the steps you needed to take to be a Rastafarian?
I mean, there's a few things that are, there's no real official joining, right? I mean,
Mm,
like I said, you could be part of different groups that would be more, maybe more
mm,
structured. Because I was, you know, married to this man who was a Rasta man, I took it on. I embraced the culture and very much started learning, and it was part of our everyday life, you know. So I adopted his culture, and I, you know, for the most part, was welcomed in. And you know, as um, you know, a woman in Jamaica, as one of the only white women or non-African, you know, non, you know, whatever. I would be in a space as the minority. And there, you know, I can remember one of my first Nyabingi gatherings where this, you know, one elder man was like really having a problem racially with me, you know, and so there is confrontation like that. I'm just going to be
mm.
real. Like that
Yeah.
was a moment where I was like, wow, but guess what? I know in my heart, like we're all on this healing journey, you know what I mean? And I was learning about, you know, all the struggles of Black people, you know, as I was living in Jamaica. And I I understood his pain. You know, he was shaking a little shaker in my face and was really feeling really intense. And we had a moment. And I also wasn't shaken because I knew that, you know, God is love and we are all here rooted in love. And so I have a lot of, you know, compassion and understanding for why that would be confronting or you know whatever might be coming up for different people. So but yeah, so there's different things that show up on the path. It's also, you know, wearing dreadlocks, right? So this is
Mhm.
a tradition that comes, you know, from Africa. And also, you know, I know they do that, you know, the sadhus of India have worn dreadlocks for generations and, you know, thousands of years as well. And so but it's coming from that African lineage. And so wearing dreadlocks, actually, as I did for many years, is a whole journey itself too. And you don't have to be Rasta. You don't have to wear anything. It's really in your heart, you know. But
Mm.
but I walked that path, and that was interesting, and they grew really long. I would wear my big turbans and the whole bit. And you know what's interesting is that I'm just going to share this part of it because you get a lot of pushback from people who don't get it, and they're like, they see you and you're like, kind of look, maybe exotic or different because you're all wrapped up in all these fabrics and all this stuff. But then once I cut my hair and I would go to these different gatherings with all these other Rastas, then sometimes they would look at me like I was nobody. I was invisible because I didn't show up in the same way. So, humans, we look at each other and we judge each other. So I don't know if
Mm.
that's answering your question, but
Yeah, definitively you
it,
are answering.
hmm
And
yeah.
my other question will be, what is the relationship between the
Mm.
Rastafarian movement and money?
Right. Well, this is I love that we're diving into this and you're so thoughtful,
Yeah.
because it's because it represents the system in a certain way, right? Babylon, right, is the system that has been harming, folks for generations and has been historically seen, right? So money has been seen by a lot of people as evil, the root of all evil is one way people say it, or, it has been, you know, America is a capitalist system that was built on the bodies, the slave labor, right, of Africans and the displacement and genocide of Native people here. So I'm very aware of this, and the fact that money has been made, and that's the way this country and all of Europe also has taken the resources of Africa and built themselves up. And so we have to be aware of that. And so money, because it has been used and built, that whole financial system and capitalist system has been built in such a dirty and harmful and tragic way. There's a lot of healing that has to be done. And so Rastas, being aware of the negative, consequence of that system, right? And they would call it Babylon system. The struggle to find peace with something that's our currency that helps us get what we need, that helps us get food to eat and you know what I mean, have enough. So it can be a challenge. Not, I'm not saying this is across the board for Rastas but a lot of us who have been educated or don't agree with the system as it is will have a difficult time maybe to make peace with financial success, right? So it has been a journey, and I love that you are diving into that with me because I know for me it all started to click, and I was like, I've been against the system for so long because I want freedom for all people. That's my like justice and freedom and liberation for all is like that's where I'm at, and that's what I fight for. And so I want to make sure that when I do this work that I'm helping people. And guess what? Once it clicked for me, like if I don't know how to play the game, I'm not going to be able to compete. And if I don't know how to play the game, I'm not ever going to get ahead. Like this system will continue to just wear you down. We don't make enough money for cost of living, just generally speaking. We need to figure it out. So once I got these tools, it was very life changing because now I'm like, oh, this is how people can build generational wealth. You mean that my kids don't have to struggle? You mean I can leave a legacy and nobody told us that it's very accessible. It's not only for the ultra elite. You know what I mean? And that's what I love about my work. So my company that I work with, their whole base and premise is that we want to fix what's wrong with the financial system. And they name it. They say the bias against people who don't have a lot of money has been a big problem because you will call up like Edward Jones or something and oh, we can't help you because you don't have that much money or you have too much debt or we can't. So our financial services, we support all people. We support from the mega, earners to like the everyday people who are just finding a way to get by. And
Mhm.
we are here to support all people. And so to me, I want folks like with that Rasta mindset or that like anti-system mindset to understand that I've been through the struggle and it's not easy, and we don't have to suffer. We can use those resources that are available to do good. If we had more of those financial resources in the hands of good-hearted people, we could do so many amazing things, Alpha. And that's my real mission is like it starts to make sense. Like if we're all just have these great ideas for making a better world, but we don't have any money, like it's going to be hard. So come on, let's like get it together. Let's win at this game. If you have the information and the opportunities, right? I can give you access. We can help build some pathways to abundance like that. Oh, it's amazing. That's what we want. We want all the children to be fed and cared for, and we want this world to be, you know what I mean, a healthy, vibrant place for all people to live in peace, right? And have what they need. So that's my vision.
Mm.
And I feel like it is a healing, though. I think it is a healing because a lot of us have come from a place where we're not happy with how things have been historically here.
I see. Um, Listening to you, you mentioned something that is quite very important. You say,
Mm,
Alpha, I have been following my heart
yeah.
in many during my journey.
Hmm.
And hearing you speak about money for you is
Hmm.
another journey. And I
Hmm.
just wanted to know where, because your life story have been into situation where uh, you um, take decision, and it's not easy for many people to take decision
Hmm.
because certain decision, as you
Right.
indicated, you were in the financial world. You decided to take a decision to move
Hmm.
on and go to Jamaica. And in
Hmm.
Jamaica, you find
Hmm.
love and you
Hmm.
became a Rastafarian.
Yeah.
And you came back to America as a
Hmm.
Rastafarian. And
Hmm.
at certain point, you decided to be a financial coach.
Yeah.
So can you take us at the beginning, what made
Mm.
you take that step from a
To,
Rastafarian to a
hmm.
financial coach? Or there was something between after being
There's
a
been a
Rastafarian?
lot.
Yeah. Can you take us
It's
on
been a
those different
journey.
steps? Because I feel like people may
Mm.
understand a little bit
Hmm.
how do you end up where you are right now as a
All right.
financial coach.
It's been a long journey since those
Mhm.
Rasta days. I will say that. So, I kind of started shifting gears around 2012 and kind of just expanding my awareness and taking in other teachings also. Like I said, I'm a truth seeker. And so learning about different spiritual paths also. And I see it, we're us all as one. As long as love is at the center, we are all united. So but I was expanding my knowledge and education, experience, and also, yeah, connecting on different levels with different kind of ceremonies and getting, having my own journey, personal healing journey, because I've been going through a lot of changes, right, personally. And so, um, taking some years to explore and raise my children in a good way. It's been a journey. Um, I traveled to many different countries during the next few years. Also, I was able to go to East Asia and also to North Africa and the Middle East a little bit. And so, um, I had different, influences at that time as well, and got to, yeah, really take in a multicultural lens. So I'm grateful for that. And, like I said, there was highs and lows, financially at that time. I don't know how much you want to hear about that, but I was an entrepreneur, and living in Northern California. And, the cannabis industry was booming at the time. And so I was, on part of that trajectory of that, that time of prosperity. And then, that also started to shift, and so the politics around it shifted, and I was working um, rather than being my own, business owner, I shifted to work with a friend who was owning a distribution company, also within that same industry, and so I was building and learning new things because instead of being more of like a independent homestead, entrepreneur, I was able to step into the marketplace on a bigger level, right? Because things were legalized, and I was working in different parts of the economy now on the marketplace with this new entry into the supply chain and everything. So yeah, things started to evolve. And then I went again to start my own business. And yeah, just continue to grow and evolve. And through all of it, have always just been learning new skills. And then I started teaching because everything else was kind of falling apart and things were shifting, right? So I've been an educator
Mm,
and working with children. And and that's been amazing. I love working with kids. I really do. And so I did that for a couple years, and I was off over one summer break, and I was like, I need some work. And my friend was like, come and check out this financial work. And she introduced me to it. And I really, at first, she had told me about it some time before, and I didn't have the time for it. But as soon as that summer opened up, I just dove right in. And this was a few years ago, and it all just started to make sense. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, first of all, I can make a lot of money. I don't have to charge my clients a thing because I'm an independent agent, and it's like a commission-based thing.
mm,
And so, but I don't have to, like, it just made sense. Like I only put in so many hours, but I'm compensated so kindly over here. And I'm actually helping change people's lives. And I can serve all people and show them how they can change their whole family's, like,
mm.
direction with this generational wealth building. So yeah, it kind of just grew, like, and honestly, Alpha, I have been raising my kids on my own for decades. Okay. It's been like
Mm.
that. I've had some help along the way, but mostly on my own. And so I'm
I see.
grateful that I've been able to find a way to succeed and really prosper along the way. And it's because I've got the tools now. So,
I see. I
mhm.
truly believe um, that there is not a bad profession, as far
Right.
as you're doing what you're doing with love
Hmm.
and helping people.
Yeah, I
Eventually,
agree.
you became a financial coach. Can you
Hmm.
take us to the process? How somebody, like somebody who wanna get into the industry, how can somebody
Hmm.
become a financial coach?
Totally. Well, so I'm a licensed financial professional on the protection side of the financial industry.
Mm,
So when we have our financial industry, we have people who are into like the banking aspect. Also, there's securities, right, which is like the stock market. And so those folks are licensed in a different they have a different license for securities. And then what I do over here is I'm licensed over here. So I could tell you about my aspect of it all. Um, Being on the protection side of the financial industry, we help people grow their wealth inside of life insurance because it's tax free. This is what we love to help people understand. It's not something you have to track for the IRS or anything. This is your own thing that is because of the tax codes they created, like, you know, many, like over 100 years ago, actually, they created this little loophole that the wealthy have been enjoying to create, tax-free earnings. And so I'm helping people with that. And also because we don't work in the stock market, we work in the index. And I'm just going to share a little education real quick is that the index it mirrors the stock market. So when you have money in an index strategy, it'll grow when the market grows. But when the market starts to decline, it just locks in your gains. So you never lose money in the index. And so that's what I say. I'm in the protection side of things. So we help you earn money without ever losing it. It's a very important strategy for people because 401ks are in the stock market. all the IRAs, right? All these different ways people have been investing because that's really all people have been shown. That's why I feel like this is very revolutionary, what I'm bringing, is that it's showing people a whole different thing that is not being spoken of, but it is the way that the elite have been growing their own generational wealth for, many, many,
Mm. Yeah,
decades and hundreds of years.
yeah. To that, you say you have a license. I
Yeah.
just want to know, how did
Okay.
you get your
Yeah,
license? What
totally.
did you,
Okay, for sure. Sorry.
the education you in? For instance,
Yeah.
somebody, there is a young kid listening. They wanna
Yeah,
be
absolutely.
professional. They okay. Can you take us to those different steps?
Yes.
How did you get your
So,
license?
well, because I was introduced to this financial firm that I
Mm,
work with, um, and then I was shown all the steps through there. And honestly, it's very accessible. So I'm happy if people want to contact me directly about that because there's opportunity here.
mm,
But basically, you just need to get your license, and it is a life and health insurance license. And it doesn't cost much at all. You have to study for a test, pass the test, pay the money for the license. It's like you can get yourself up and running for just a few $100s.
I see.
Okay. You can work
Mm,
from home. You pay a little bit of a monthly fee, but it's not very much. It's like $40 a month, right? So I'm just saying it's very accessible. And like I said, I have a master's in education. I've done so much schooling, but honestly, this has been, a total game changer as far as income and, also just I've already in a short amount of time have really achieved huge promotions. And so it's very possible. Yeah.
mm. Can you tell us
Mhm.
about your organization,
Yeah.
the history of your organization, and
Yeah.
why you decided to choose the
hmm
organization you're working for?
Yeah, absolutely. So, um, if you see here on here it is.
Yeah,
Diamond
yeah,
is
Diamond.
Diamond Leadership Organization is that's my team that I work with. And we are within the financial firm called Experior Financial Group.
Mm,
And what that is it's called an IMO, Insurance Marketing Organization. Okay. But it's basically because we are independent agents. And so they are like the umbrella that we work within, and we are able to work with many different providers. So we are helping people with many different things, different strategies for their wealth building, but it also includes all the life insurance companies and also different, these are the same providers also who will do like annuities, which is another retirement wealth building and plans like that. And so, yeah, so they are I think the biggest or one of the biggest. They started in Canada, in Toronto, this company called Experior. And like I said, their whole thing was that we want to fix everything wrong with the financial services industry. And so that was their agent owned. These were agents who created this, and they've been very successful, growing very quickly. And now it's been about maybe 14 years, and they moved to the States. They have a headquarters in Buffalo, New York, and then also down in Texas, they have another headquarters. Yeah, and so it's it's a very, but how should I say it, supportive atmosphere. We have a great team. I mean, it's thousands of agents, but there's such an integrity. Okay, this company is known for its honesty and transparency and credibility. We have a system that really works to help people, you know, um, to help all the agents themselves continue to achieve their goals, but also for all the clients that we bring in to serve them. Because what we do is we don't serve actually the corporations, we serve our clients. And because we're independent, we don't have any affiliation or I'm not being paid to serve you only from like State Farm or from Allstate or anything like that. Like I'm actually independent, and I have like 65 different providers I could choose from that are going to fit what you need. And basically, yeah, it's an amazing opportunity right now because right now in America, we're going through the biggest wealth transfer. There's the baby boomers who actually had an incredible, enormous growth financially. They had access to buying homes and all the things when they could earn, even just have a regular day job and be able to own a house, right? And nowadays, we know that's very different. It's very difficult for people to buy a house these days unless they're making how many figures, right? So the baby boomers are transitioning and their wealth is being transferred. And so we want to help people. And there's a big need for what I'm doing right now. So if people are interested, I'd be happy to share more. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Diamond, why is the name?
Isn't that beautiful? Well, our CEO of Diamond is his name is Juan Jaime. He's from Mexico. He came over as a young man when he was about 14 or 15 years old and immigrated to California. And he has an amazing story of just, being working with his father as a plumber and then getting an opportunity to work in finance. And he's like a math genius. He has, he got math scholarships and got his degree, in mathematics and stuff. So he has created an amazing organization because he understands the concepts and how to structure um, the whole organization. So it's really been a pleasure. So yeah, Diamond is his project, and it's been beautiful because it's leadership development, and that is a huge part of it because we are not only we lead with financial literacy. We teach people about the financial literacy. That's what we lead with. Okay. So it's like we're developing leaders along the way. Okay.
Mm,
And then the other part is like, you know, if you need any support with any of the other things, great. We'd love to help you. Guess what? We also help people get their trusts in place if they're property owners and they need to protect their property with a trust, right? Different things that we help people with rolling over their 401ks with. We do more than just, the insurance piece, but we are teaching people mostly the financial literacy so they are empowered. That's what it's all about. So that's diamond leadership.
I see. What is,
hmm
can you tell us a little bit about the population
hmm
Diamond work with? Mm,
Yeah, so we are working with everybody. Alpha, it's amazing because guess what? We have like a really strong Latino population that is getting served because we have all these Spanish speakers and they're bringing this. So each agent is able to go into their communities and help them. We work with our warm market. We work by referral and we don't just cold call people, right? We're working with people we know and we love, people in our communities. So we have people from all over the world that live in America that are working. Well, we could work in the US, Canada, and Puerto Rico right now, but it's very international, very diverse. So many communities are getting served by this work.
mm,
It's amazing. Yeah. And so, like I said, it's going to be people who have been seasoned financial professionals who've been doing this for decades, who come to this work, who come to Diamond and are like, this is amazing. This is an amazing opportunity. The way it's all working and organized and the way that we can serve people, so we get people from all tiers, all levels. We also have, yeah, people who are coming like myself from a different industry, coming from teaching, coming from other backgrounds, right? And then we serve clients of all income levels. Yeah.
I see.
That's
As you
pretty
know,
special.
there are a lot of financial organization out there
hmm
like Diamond. What
hmm
differentiate you from other organization? What Diamond leadership offer that is very unique?
Mm. Oh my goodness. Well, I would say for sure the support and the kindness, like we have, and we also get trained very well. A lot of people who jump into some of these different, because there's different IMOs out there, but they don't get the training that they need. So every night of the week, we have trainings, live trainings, and different executive directors in our business are teaching them. So we get leadership from all these different teachers who all bring a different message, their own flavor, their own way of communicating something. So I'm getting, information from so many different people and I'm getting taught. I can go to these trainings, it's all free. And we have a huge library online too for the members of our organization, we can go in and it's got videos from all of the trainings, like hundreds of videos on all the different topics, learning about all the different things, even how to grow your business, even all those things too, not just about the products or the things. But so we have like access to hundreds of videos 24/7. We are getting $1 million mentorship, for free, like all the time. It's
Yeah.
amazing. So
Ba-
I think that's something that stands out.
I see. Based on my
Hmm.
experience with money, I
Hmm.
always, there are different ideas about it.
Hmm.
Often, some
Right.
people see money as a source of evil.
Right.
However, I always see money as as a tool for a freedom,
Yes, that's right.
and because
Yep.
I feel like you have to kind of understand the reality. We
Hmm.
need money to make a living, and you
That's right.
cannot completely deny it and say money is not for you. I'm
Hmm.
guessing in your journey from a
Yeah.
Rastafarian
Hmm.
mom to a
Hmm.
financial coach mom, that relationship did in way change in your conversation with your children. Can you tell us
Yes.
what how that conversation? Can you tell us inside that conversation? What after being
Mm.
a coach, financial coach,
Hmm.
what is the conversation between you and your children when it comes to money? What do you advise them?
Yeah. Well, my big kids now are they're one of them is over 18, right? My son is 20 and my daughter is 17. She'll be 18 this fall. So two young adults like that who are recognizing and learning about money rapidly now because they're working and they're buying their own vehicles and they're
Mm,
figuring it out. So we're in a different place right now talking about it than when they were young. Um and so when they were young, maybe things would we had a lot of extra at some point. So it was not ever a thing. We just get what we want, get the nice food that we want, everything would go to the restaurant, no big deal. So it wasn't really a thing. And then when hard times would come, well, now they know that mom is stressed and there's not a lot. And you know what I mean? And so they would just experience it more than get talked to about it. And that it wasn't something that I really focused on with them. And now, absolutely, they are getting all the information about how, and I've got them set up actually already. Guess what, Alpha? Oh my
mm.
gosh, I'm setting them up. They have these plans in place, financial wellness plans for young people. Because what you need to know is that when you can earn interest on your money, you don't need to put a lot in if you have a lot of years to grow it, right? So we're starting them out and they're already starting to earn and
Okay,
it's
okay.
pretty special.
Share those plans. Share them to us. with us.
Do you want to hear about it?
Of
That's what
course,
I'm saying.
it's the
So we
reason
have the
we are here. We want to
we
know the
have
secrets of
that's
different plan
right. That's
that
what I'm
somebody
saying.
can have in a little money. You don't have to have a lot, but what you
Mm-hmm.
earn at your workplace, you can use it to build for the future. Would you mind to sharing
Yes.
those plans?
Yes.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
for
So basically, if we're talking about children, we have something called the $1 million baby plan.
okay.
Because if you just start
Mm,
by putting in even just $30 a month or $50 a month, and then maybe in the future you start growing that to like a little more, they get a little older. But if you just did even that small amount of money every month, and by the time, you maybe you start adding like $100 a month as they get older, right? Because then they're earning some money. Maybe grandparents send some money. You can throw that in there. They could be a millionaire by the time they're adults. Okay. It's amazing. Alpha, my friend, okay, I set her up with this beautiful plan. She's putting in $200 a month. Okay. For her daughter who's 17. They're only going to pay until $200 a month till she's 48 years old and then just stop, right?
mm.
Now we looked at she's going to have $3.5 million to draw from. I mean, it's like we don't understand that we could be doing so much more with our money. Because guess what? Now that child has access to that. She won't have to worry. She can draw out money. This, like I said, Alpha, it's all tax free.
I
The
see.
IRS doesn't even see it as an asset because it's inside this other vehicle.
Mm. So basically,
Right.
you are
So
telling us
it's,
since somebody was baby, you can take small step,
yeah,
guarantee them of financial
that's
freedom.
right.
This is quite
Yes.
you know,
Yes. That's what
I
I'm saying. It's life changing.
yeah, I came to United States a while ago, and I'm very in
Hmm.
touch with the
Hmm.
immigrant community. And what I hear the most
Yeah.
is
Yes.
they don't get financial education, and often what they do when
Right.
they have money, sometimes
Yeah.
they keep it at home because of
Yeah.
fears, and
Yeah.
other the one step another step they take is to put their money in their
Hmm.
bank and keep it,
Right.
and often there is not a little financial return. That's why
Yeah.
it's quite
Yes.
the benefit of
That's
having
it.
somebody who have a
Yes.
knowledge in
Yes.
sharing advice. So if a person come to you and say, Miss
Hmm.
Tina, as a financial advisor,
Hmm.
I am working for the Diamond organization. I need your help. I need your advice because I wanna, create a financial security for myself
Hmm.
and my children.
Hmm.
What are the questions
Hmm.
are you going to ask, and what are the solutions you're going to
Hmm.
provide?
I love that. Thank you for checking on that. So basically, I would ask, yeah, so what do you have in your savings or what's going on? Oh, do you have, seeing where they're at? How much do you have extra each month? Do you have discretionary income? Like when you look at your income and your expenses, how much is left over? How much debt do you have? Do you have a large amount of debt that you're paying off? Because we can help people also with debt management. That's another service that we provide. So I would check in with them about their liquidity, what they have. Maybe they have savings here and there in different pockets, then maybe they don't. I would also teach them, though. I always want to teach them guess what's happening with, when you have money just in the bank, is that like you said, Alpha, it doesn't earn very much. And, I show people slides so they could understand visually what's going on, but there's something called the rule of 72, and it tells you how money earns interest. And you take the number 72 and you divide it by, say, 1% is what you might earn at the bank. That tells you your money will double in 72 years. And then, there's different as you go up, right? But if I was earning 10%, like I would earn in some of the strategies that I put together, it takes only 7.2 years for my money to double, right? So
Mm.
this is the formula. So I'm just helping people understand that because your banks, they are going to give you 1%, but guess what? Do you think they just sit on your money and just hold it there for you?
No.
They don't. They take it, they invest it over here in the life insurance where they earn. Bank of America has 24 billion in life insurance assets. They grow their money there. They make 10 times as much and they give you 1%.
I see.
This is the problem. So what we do is we want to empower people. Don't save it in there. It's good to use the bank just to, pay your bills and, this and that, but it's not a place to grow money, obviously. It doesn't even keep up with inflation. Inflation is bigger than 1%. It's like 3%. So we show people different ways that they could get a better interest coming back to them. And, back in the day, Albert Einstein said, those who understand the rule of this compounding interest are going to win at the game of money. But those who don't are going to lose because guess what happens? If you stay in the bank at 1%, they're going to give you a credit card for 30% interest that you have to pay because you need a little extra liquidity, right? But if you just had your money because you just didn't know, but if you knew to put your money over here where it could earn 10 times more, you
Mm.
could become your own bank. You can pull that money out. You don't have to wait till you're 59 and a half, like some of the IRAs that people do. You don't have to wait like the 401k. You have to wait till you're 59 and a half. You can pull it out at any time and use it for whatever you want, and it's all tax free. So, but yeah, I would start by asking them where they have their money and how I can help support them in that way and what's important to them. Do they want to, you know, do they need help with debt management? Do they need help, building wealth, protecting assets? Guess what, Alpha? Like, people don't understand. There's plans out here that will totally change your whole trajectory. You know how many people in America are bankrupt because of medical bills? It's
Mm.
terrible. The healthcare here, right, is very expensive. So what we have when we have life insurance, you can actually say you have a death benefit that's like $250,000, right? It's not just when you die that money comes to your kids tax free. Guess what? You could, if you got sick, what during your life, if you got critical illness, chronic illness, terminal illness, even a critical injury or Alzheimer's disease,
Mm.
you can pull out from that money. From that $250,000, you don't have to wait till you're dead. You can pull it out while you're living. If you can't work, you make a claim and they pay it out. They're very good about paying it out when you have these medical claims. I have friends who have used this when they had cancer and they were able to get that full amount to come to them. You know what I mean? So it's amazing. Like, I just really, that is a game changer. What if you can't work for some reason, right? You can't pay your rent or your mortgage. The bank doesn't care. If you have a house that's like $500,000, you only have 100,000 left to pay, but you can't because you got sick or something. They're not going to refund your money. They're just going
Yeah.
to take the house at some point, right? So when you have a plan in place that you can protect that's what we call real mortgage protection. This is not, and the money you get doesn't have to go to health medical bills. It can be used however you need to support you while you're in one of those difficult situations. So I just
Mm.
want people to know that there's a way through, because if you can have that protection, it's a game changer. That is the biggest number one reason for people to be, going homeless and going bankrupt, is because of medical bills.
I see.
So we want people to know that there is a way through it, and it doesn't even cost very much. This is the other thing. They want you to think that it costs a lot, that it's only for wealthy people, that no, you can get it for very affordable prices, very affordable. Of course, it's cost less the younger you are, and you have to have certain health qualifications to, you know what I mean, qualify for the plans. But I'm very happy to help people walk through it because we have a way to help. We don't want to see people struggle. This is a very intense time right now on this planet, right? There's a
Okay.
lot of things happening. So we want to make sure people have what they need.
Yeah, it's kind of very educative. Um,
Hmm.
and I know we cannot go through the benefit and the services,
Hmm.
yeah, your
Hmm.
organization offer. But
Yeah,
if somebody want a free consultation to have access to financial
absolutely.
freedom, what can they
Hmm.
do? How can they reach out to Miss Tina? Mm.
Yeah, well, they can find me. I was gonna provide you with a little flyer you could put on, so maybe we could put it in the thing so they could see it. But you
You have
can reach out
you
to
have the
me.
fly over there to show,
Yeah,
or
would you like me to pull it up?
yeah, you
Okay.
can share it. Mm.
Okay, great. Let me pull it up real quick. Um, okay, so here is,
Okay,
and it
okay.
has my contact. Can you see it on the bottom?
The email.
Tina
Mm.
14. Uh-huh. Yeah.
You wanna take us through it a little bit? You know.
Yeah, so financial literacy and strategic design.
Okay.
I can share with people how to make supplemental income, helping with retirement planning, taking their old 401ks, or the 403b is for teachers, so helping them roll it over into an account that is not in the market, the stock market, because that is susceptible to losses of retirement income, and we put it in a safer place. So we do all different kinds of retirement planning, but that's one of the other ones. And also inheritance management. If people are receiving, money and they don't know what to do with it, we show them the safer ways so they can have a diverse portfolio, so all their money isn't in the stock market or just sitting in a bank, not earning anything. we show them their best ways. People can use this QR code and to schedule with me. That
Okay.
takes you straight to my calendar if you want a free consultation.
Mm.
And so, yeah, I do free consults, financial literacy, personal reviews, family plans. Also, I'm helping people understand how they can become their own bank. Career opportunities are here, and yeah, just a lot more things like setting up trusts and wills, different estate planning.
Mm.
This is for all income levels. We work with, people who are, just making their bills ends meet. And then we also work with all high-end clients as well. So I'm also getting licensed this year in being a business tax strategist and a business planner. So I'm going to be able to help small business owners as well. So yeah, please reach out. I'm happy to support you and offer these great tools. Everything we do is free, not just the consultation, but all my services are free. I make, commission from these big corporations. If people want to put their money into a certain plan, they will get, all the benefits with their own money going to support themselves without having to pay me. So that's something that I love is that it's all they are just investing in themselves, right?
Yes.
So thank you so much.
Miss
I'll
Tina
close this.
Hilton, thank you very much for
Hmm.
sharing your valuable time and for sharing your knowledge. I really appreciate. I'm
Hmm.
really grateful that you gave us, the time
Hmm.
to share about your work. And I want to say
Yeah.
thank you very much for joining me on the Human Right Tree.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Alpha, for having me. I'm so honored to be here. You are such a good brother doing amazing work in this world, and we're grateful for this. Thank you for inviting me today.
Thank you. And I will
Take good
definitively
care.
keep in touch, and reach out
Hmm.
in the near
Yeah.
future to learn more about your work. And because
Yeah.
I truly believe people need to learn, know more about how money works.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And
Mm,
we do work with all communities. And
mm,
like you said, if you're doing work with the immigrant, communities, like there is so much here.
mm.
And I'd be happy to share with everybody, make sure everybody has the information. So thank
Again,
you.
thank you very much.
Yeah, take good care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.